This is video 3. We're going to talk about editing circuits. So, for example, the HVAC split system we had on here, if I want to change any of the loads on here, all I need to do is double click and change the loads. So I could change the loads. If I actually want to assign it a new way and swap the ways around on the board, being mindful that you can actually do this in the wiring program where you size the cables, what you can actually do is come in and select the blob. Now if I select the blob on this appliance here and then select delete, that removes the circuit from this particular, or removes the appliance from the particular circuit. So if I double click on here, I've still got that 20 amps on the load. Now this very much depends on a setting in display options. If you go to display options, the default setting is to delete just switching. So that's what we did. We deleted just the switching. We removed it from way number 1. If you have that a second option selected, it will actually remove the symbol as well. So switches and switching. So it's best just to have the just switching set. So what this means, I can reallocate this now to a different way and phase on the board. So if I go back to the HVAC board, insert switching, I'm now going to put that on way number 3. TP and N, OK that, click on it, and there you go. So it's now changed from 1 to 3. So it's a case of clicking on that little green square, pressing delete on the keyboard to reassign it to another way. If I wanted to go further, I could also delete the symbol a second time. So I could click on the whole thing, press delete, and that removes the load from the circuit. Click on it a second time, press delete, that removes the entire thing. And it's the same with the sockets. By clicking on these, if I click on one, notice it selects all of them. If I then click on one of them, it selects all of them. So if I press delete, that will then remove all of those sockets from that circuit. And you can see it's done that. And I can reassign them another circuit. I can also do the same thing with any HVAC equipment that we've bought in from the piping program. So for example, if I was to double click on this appliance here, notice it's fixed. I can't change the phase arrangement. I would have to go back to the piping program to go into the symbol to reassign and put it on a different phase. So that's why that's grayed out. So I would have to go back in this case to the piping program. But what you can do, you can still change the load. So I could still put and change the load on that. Okay. So this is effectively how you swap and change circuits around. If there were single phase pumps, for example, I could have clicked on a single phase pump. In this case, this is a TP pump, 10 amps. But again, it would be a case of having to go back to the piping program, make the change. You can see here L3 is again grayed out. So if you are wanting to change appliances from other services, you do need to go to that other service, select in this case, the pump, and change the phasing arrangements, which will then feed through into here. So if you've added stationary equipment loads to represent equipment in the electrics, you can do that. You would see those 3 phases available. But if you're relating to symbols that are from other services, such as these pumps here, then you've got to go back and change the loadings on those particular phases and on the loads themselves.